Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, let me just make sure that the microphone is the right microphone. Let's see. Nope, not that one. Okay, yes, it is. Just want to make sure it's going through the mic and not the computer speaker, microphone. Connie Bowmer. Hey, Church Nelly. Hey, Lydia Washington. Hey, Church Nelly. Brenda Gray. Hey, Church Nelly. Joan Garcia. Hey, Church Nelly. I'm just kidding, Church Nelly. Okay. Okay. Not today, Satan. Sophie. Not today. Not today. Won't be spiriting these funds anywhere. We won't be lying in the pockets of our friends and families. Friends and family plans are good for, I don't know, Netflix, T-Mobile, but not for charitable donations. Wink, wink. Yeah, we don't have friends and family plans like that. You do, but not the rest of the world. So, allegedly, that is. Got to throw allegedly in there because what do I know for sure? Nothing. But one could suspect, one can theorize, and one can obfuscate, whatever that means. But one can do a whole bunch of that stuff. So, until we know better, I'm just kidding. We already know. But this is Royal Sussex, not a court of law. This is the only thing we have here is the court of public opinion. But that's okay. God sees everything. Even pseudo doctors. Yeah. Oh man. Anyway, let's get on with it. So, well, this is some good news. Proper theatrical documentaries. U.S. opening weekend, August 1st, 2025 through August 16, 2026. Well, for that, you can see Cookie Queens is at number 5. Now, I don't know if people realize this, but Cookie Queens was only in about 400 and something theaters. Not widely released, not a wide release, if you will. Having to open with two of the biggest movies of the year, the Spider-Man movie and Odyssey, having recently opened, of course, that is definitely a factor. And also, there has not been a multi-million-dollar ad campaign. I just want to make sure that people understand that Cookie Queens did not have an advertising budget of $100 million. There was no budget like that. Um, some movies will have north of $100 million just for the ads, just for the promotions. I don't know if that covers flying the actors from place to place or their teams and all that kind of stuff, but it is expensive. And I can assure you that Cookie Queens did not have a budget like that. So the blockbuster is something that the studios count on. They count on having $1 billion sales for Spider-Man and for Odyssey. That's 2 billion plus. Okay? So there's an incentive for the actors to participate in this charm offensive to get people to the theaters because they get money on the back end. So in addition, I believe the Spider-Man guy, I think for Odyssey, which by the way, he's in 2 hit movies simultaneously, which is something that rarely happens. I think Michael J. Fox and some other actor was able to achieve that. So that by itself is an achievement, and I'm not taking anything away from those actors, but they are going to make a fortune from those movies. I believe that Cookie Queens is going to do incredibly well. It's going to be slow to build an audience. I'm pretty sure there's just a lot of people who who don't even know it exists, but we'll get there. So have faith. Do not despair. Do not give in to the uh, derangers who are going to try to demoralize you with a bunch of nonsense. And that's all it is. I would love to see how many movies that those derangers have produced in their lifetimes. So keep your chin up. It is not the end of the world. We will get there. Now, this person right here, oh my goodness, where is his name? You know what? Sometimes that is the one thing that I cannot. Oh, you know what? Nope, I don't see it. Anyway, hopefully I can find it. Hopefully it'll pop up or something like that. You know, the squaddies will share some of these content creators, but they don't always have the name available. It may be cropped out or something like that. So I do my best because I definitely want to make sure that they get credit for their work. But I'm not always able to do that. So I will do my best. I will continue to do my best, but I'm not sure I can do that in this instance. But I'm going to take one more look here and see if I cannot. No, I cannot. I do not see it. But anyway, let's hear what the young man has to say. And then I will talk about it on the other side. This one is very short, by the way, so we will talk about it on the other side. Elaine Parker. Hey, Elaine Parker. Elaine Parker. Hey, Church Nelly. Elaine Parker. And Church Nelly. Okay. So anyway, let's hear what he has to say, and then we will talk about it on the other side. All right. Thank you, Lane Parker. Uh, all right, ready? Here we go.
This is a message for Prince Harry and Prince Harry only. In case you see this, I want you to know that you taking your wife and kids off Misery Island was the right thing to do. If you had any doubt in your mind that your actions were too decisive or too aggressive, they were not. After seeing the British press hound Jason Ardy and Caroline Flack to death, there can be no doubt in your mind that you not only saved your wife's sanity, but probably her life too. This is a...
I think we should listen to that again. It was very short.
This is a message for Prince Harry and Prince Harry only. In case you see this, I want you to know that you taking your wife and kids off Misery Island was the right thing to do. If you had any doubt in your mind that your actions were too decisive or too aggressive, they were not. After seeing the British press hound Jason Ardy and Caroline Flack to death, there can be no doubt in your mind that you not only saved your wife's sanity, but probably her life too.
Okay. Again, I don't know what this young man's name is because the person that shared it on X, formerly known as Twitter, I do believe the name was cropped out, and I was hoping that it would pop up, and it did not. So, but if I can find out, I will definitely share that with you. Okay, but I love what he said, though. As a matter of fact, we got to give him some flowers. Think it over. Life is like a four-leaf clover. Okay. I feel like I'm getting my joy back. You know, the thing, all of the conversation surrounding Jason Ardy has definitely cast a shadow over the weekend. And even though this is still a very heavy topic, I had a chance to sleep on it, so I definitely feel better. Especially, I'm getting relief from the fact that people are speaking out. And yes, I wish that some of those people would have spoke out sooner, but um, I'm sure that a lot of people just had no idea that things were as serious. But so it's a teachable moment for all of us. There's always something that we can gather from or learn from these situations. That being said, they published it while Jason Ardy was alive. Why are they deleting it now? Ask Feminagra. They published it while he was alive, but why are they deleting it now? It's all about the deletions, and not just content creators from their X accounts and such, but this is the newspapers. These are these news groups. These um, so-called voices of the man on the street, the voice of the people. A lot of their columns are disappearing. But rest assured, it won't be difficult to find them. I'm sure it won't be difficult to find them. There is, once it goes out there into cyberspace, it's out there. So there's no hiding it from everybody, just some people, but not everyone. In the hours after Jason Ardy's death, parts of the media trail surrounding him began to change. At least one Times article disappeared, while social media users documented apparent deletions or edits to some posts about him. Search results continue to preserve material that was becoming harder to find on the original platforms. That is significant because Artie had not simply been the subject of one investigation, he had become a media fixation. His academic work, biography, fundraising, teaching, personal history, and even minor claims were repeatedly turned into stories and social media commentary. The coverage continued even though Liverpool John Moores University has had previously investigated and dismissed plagiarism allegations concerning Artie's PhD, while Cambridge later opened fresh inquiries after receiving new information. Now that some of that media material is disappearing, a new question emerges. If journalists and commentators believe these stories were fair, proportionate, and in the public interest when Artie was alive, why remove them after his death? These removals and apparent deletions do not establish that the coverage caused Artie's death, but they do raise questions about accountability, editorial judgment, and whether some of those involved now recognize that the scale or tone of the coverage went too far. What has been deleted or removed, the clearest documented examples involved the Times during the controversy. The Times published a story with mocking headlines. Jason Artie may want to get himself a nice pair of orange trousers. The original URL now returns an error 410. That's what comes up, error 410, indicating that the page is no longer available at its original location. Now, that is just absolutely cruel. That is absolutely cruel. Let me show you an example of that. You see that? Jason Artie may want to get himself a nice pair of orange trousers. Jason Artie, former Cambridge University professor, found dead. Isn't that something? From 4 hours to looks like in about 3 hours after that story was uploaded. I think that's just what it means. Within 3 hours, they had already taken it down. And then you could see the error message right there. Sorry, we can't find the page you're looking for. Error 410. If these types of URLs in your browser, it might be worth checking and trying again. Ain't no trying again. Y'all done took it down. What is there to try? Y'all done took it down. Otherwise, we can suggest going back to our home page past 6 days or using the search function below to explore the rest of the news and features on offer. How about we explore the one that you took down? That's what we want to explore. We ain't interested in that other crap. We want to explore the one that was removed. Thank you, Church Nelly. Church Nelly has posted the link to Feminagra, and I'm going to pin it right here. You guys, Feminagra is more important now than ever before, especially with this kind of news coming out. We have to make sure that we are going to reliable news sources. That is so important. So do make sure, and also I have to tell you, Feminagra just doesn't talk about royal stuff. Feminagra has multiple topics on any given day that is posted to the account. So do check it out. And in the spirit of that, I am going to, it's a kind of it's not too long, but I got other stuff to get to. So I'm going to leave you with the link, and you will be able to find it by the title of the article. There it is. They published it while Jason Ardy was alive. Why are they deleting it now? So that is the title of the article. Now, not too long ago, Feminegra actually posted another article, and I didn't get a chance to even look at this one yet, let alone do I have it prepared to share. But let's finish the slides from that article. Here's the other one right here. Jason Ardy shows we believe what we want to believe. And then you see there it says Jason Ardy is the product of academia's soft bigotry. Soft bigotry. The product of, not the victim of, the product of. So I am assuming that they are saying that the bigotry was toward white academics or professors or whatever. I believe that's what they're trying to say. But either way, they're probably saying it with their full chest. So, yeah. Matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to go back and take a look at that just so that we are correct about that. Says here on the other Times article about Ardy remained alive. Sonia Sada piece, Jason Ardy is the product of academic soft bigotry, is still accessible, as is Daniel Finkelstein's Jason Ardy shows us we believe what we want to believe. The disappearance of the orange trouser piece leaves the unanswered question about why this particular article was removed, while other highly critical Times commentary about Arday remains available. So yeah, I would think those other two articles right there are probably hypercritical articles, and it seems to be shocking that they are even still there. So do go to Feminegra, look for that article. Let's see, this one. In 2020, we had this cushy gig wherein this company mistakenly paid me $200 per post to write digest and of trashy news items according to the Byzantine formula meant to prime the search engine. I wrote 5 days for over a year and made a fortune doing what AI now do for free. And all I can say is this experience is that all I can say from this experience is that I never once read anything in which a reliable source went on record saying Meghan Markle had actually done something bad. And I wrote about Meghan every day for a year, reading some 2,000 articles trash talking her. Wow. So Benjamin Ryan, I think I've seen him before. What is that other one right there? How do I keep doing that? Oh, that little mark right there is actually in the page. It says Pink News is making its remaining reporters redundant, buying. I'm sorry, I can even see that, saying it wants to move away from having a reporter-led newsroom to a model where there isn't a need for a reporter role. Does that mean that AI is going to do some of these articles? Oh my goodness. I hope that doesn't mean that AI is going to do it. I mean, you can program the tone. You can, oh my God, this is going to get out of hand, you guys. It's already out of hand. Anyway, finish that article. I'm getting ahead of myself. That slide right there is regarding the article. I'm going to finish it myself later, but yeah, that's what these slides are in regards to. So now, day before yesterday, day before yesterday, I was a little frustrated because I had some slides that were out of order, right? And I went ahead and went to where I needed to be, right? I moved to where I needed to be. Sometimes I say, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do this while I see it because I'm going to forget if I don't do it now. Well, this is what I forgot to do. And the point that I was making here, if you remember anything about the Royal Sussex from 2 days ago, these are people that the media closed ranks and decided to protect. Now, I like Philip Schofield. I really do like him because Philip Schofield taking Camilla Tominey to task that day and putting her on the spot, asking her about the Meghan made Kate cry, really exposed Camilla Tominey in a way that pleased me. Okay. So I really respect when any of these journalists actually do their jobs, when they are actually being fair and just rather than biased and ridiculous. Okay? I I have positive vibes for them. So stay with me. I'm making a point here. However, Philip Schofield had a spot of bother at work having to do with a young man who was employed at this morning. And there seems to be speculation about when he and his co-worker actually met. Well, they met years ago while Philip Schofield was volunteering at an actor's studio or actor was whatever, not studio, but a actor's workshop. And believe me, most of the people in that workshop were, how do I put this delicately? Their ages were very far south of his own, right? And it just so happens that one of those kids end up working at this morning. And from there, sparks began to fly and they had a relationship. First, Philip Schofield, he comes out and says that he's gay. Okay, no problem with that. But then when people were asking exactly when did this relationship start, that's when the problems began to come about. And the media was actually not so curious about anything. As a matter of fact, they felt as though they wanted to protect him. And I can still remember the question. And listen, you guys, I don't know that anything was improper. I hope that it wasn't. I don't know that anything was improper. So let me just caution that. Like I said, I like Philip Schofield. However, certain questions that they may have asked, let's say, just the average person on the street about there's certain questions they would ask about their past. Well, they decided to pass and not even ask those questions. And God, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. I'm being very careful here. Um, and so I got a little frustrated by that because if it was you or if it was me, trust me, they wouldn't sleep until they got what they wanted and or at least speculate about it, right? At least come up with a whole bunch of hypotheses and um scenarios. That's what they would have done. Whether or not it was true, that wouldn't matter. Someone close to someone who knew something, you know how they do. But there just wasn't any questions. I'm just like, how does that happen? And then, hasn't he suffered enough? I'm worried about his mental health. Hasn't he suffered enough? And that's the pattern, because when it was Prince Andrew, they were worried about his mental health. And those same media people were saying, hasn't he suffered enough? How much can one person take? I'm worried about his mental health. Hugh Edwards, I'm worried about his mental health. How much can one person take? And I believe, didn't he check into a program or a hospital or something? They have a script that they follow when someone gets in trouble for this particular thing. And if you are a public figure in good favor with your colleagues in the press, then you will be protected. And again, I am not saying that anybody's guilty of anything, but I've just noticed that pattern of, are you okay? We're worried about you. Right? Just like I said the other night, Victoria Newton. Well, I called over to the palace and Kate's not okay. You called over to the palace and Kate's not okay. She's not doing well. Did you call over to Frogmore Cottage and see if Meghan was okay? Did you call to see how she was doing? Or were you just going to wait and confirm that a disaster had happened? Because none of those people were worried about Meghan's mental health or well-being. But these three gentlemen, and I'm just counting these three, there's others, but these three gentlemen who otherwise should have had the entire weight of the British tabloid media fall on top of them, they were treated with kid gloves. They were patted on the head. They massaged their shoulders. They checked in on them. And in the court of public opinion, they were helping to defend them as though they were the barristers or the lawyers or the whatever. It's a pattern. They protect certain people, and then certain people they don't, like Carolyn Flack. Did anybody worry about Carolyn Flack's mental health and well-being? So of the four people that I have on these slides, it seems like the press decided who gets to live and who gets to die. And the person who did not survive, guess what? The one that calls us the Sausage Squad, you know, the one that always says, what do you know about the Sausage Squad? That one. Well, that one began to delete all of those Twitter comments. All of that stuff disappeared at an industrial rate. So I'm not here to put anyone on trial. That's not my position. That's not my role. But what I am questioning is, who do they protect? How do they decide who they're going to protect? They protect Philip Schofield, they protect Hugh Edwards, and they also protected Prince Andrew. And in all three cases, well, how much more can he take? And I'm just worried about him. And nobody, absolutely no one, even when Jeremy Clarkson wrote that disgusting thing about Meghan, I would like to know how many of them were worried about Meghan's mental health and well being. How many of them were worried or concerned or gave a rat's behind? None of them. Not a one. British media protected. Yeah, exactly. That's the point I was making. Thank you so much. Protected Dan Wooden, Philip Schofield, and Hugh Edwards. And if you ask me, Prince Andrew, they're still protecting him. Yeah, well, you know what? Even if it was rehearsed, even if it was rehearsed, it doesn't matter. At least she was put on the spot. And I will say, yes, it looked very awkward. It looked very awkward, but at least she was put on the spot. And she did not come across very convincingly at all. So, but I'm just glad it was brought up. I'm glad someone had something to say about it. And I think that he was very fair that morning. But that's just my opinion. Rehearsed or not, I believe that he was very fair. I believe sometimes he actually does his job. I don't want anyone to give anyone a free pass. Just do your job. I'm not expecting him to put someone in a headlock and make them speak or else. But, you know, they all know each other. They all knew each other. They have producers in their ears on those little microphones and such, or earpieces. So, very frustrating to me. Very, very frustrating. I'm not even going to um, dwell on any of the offenses. I'm dwelling on the protection, the way they circle the wagons and protect them. Who is protected and who is not is always breathtaking to me. Um, let's see. I'll do that in a second. Let me just look at a couple of your comments and then we'll go on to that. Okay. Thank you, Rebecca Arthur. Prudence Montague, thank you so much for being here. Lex says, all the people in the British media are complicit. Remember, this is why Dan Wooden had the catfishing in the first place. He used to climb the ladder. He used it to climb the ladder. In the UK, staying silent allows them to ascend. Well, first of all, that's what he was accused of. We don't know for sure. So I have to say he allegedly was catfishing. But the byline investigates, they laid the entire case out. They laid out the entire case. And the stuff that Dan Wooten was accused of, I would say that he's been protected in that, like all of these cases, none of them seem to involve the authorities. The authorities just said, there's no case, there's nothing. I don't even believe that this stuff is properly investigated. I don't believe there is. It's just like the cash for honors. What they do is run down the clock and they wait for people to move on. The public is very fickle, and people eventually will just move on to the next thing. And that's what happened with all of this. With all of those individuals that we just spoke about, they all had the opportunity to just move on. That young man who made the accusations against uh, King Charles's valet or personal assistant, whatever, what is his name? Forsyth. There were accusations made against him. Nothing ever came of it. And the police just let the clock run down, and that was the end of it. And that is a pattern with very powerful people. That is a pattern, is that they let the clock run down. And if you know the right people, you have nothing to worry about. All you have to do is just lay low. And I would have nothing at all to say about these things, but for the fact that Meghan has been targeted again and again and again. And for that matter, Harry has been targeted again and again and again. And what's even more confusing, and I know I say this so many times, but these are people that shared a beer with Harry. They followed him around the world. They said he even made coffee for the group on occasion. All of those things. They had all these off the record conversations. You name it. But the minute Harry falls in love and wants to be happy, when he wants the things out of life that real grown up adult people want out of life, they decided to take the side of the palace. And some of the older ones were there when his mother died. And they've seen the agony that both Harry and his brother has gone through. And yet they have been without mercy going after Harry and Meghan, and to some extent, even the children. Think about that one. Even the children are not immune. I tell you, with friends like that, who needs a firing squad? Oh, that is mental. Yeah, you tell it, cookies and cream. When that man with Tourette syndrome at the Baptist called Delroy Lindo and Michael B. Jordan the N word, the media didn't report on it. Sir Pegalot never apologized for it as patron for the Baptists. Yeah, there was no protection for them whatsoever. They did nothing to protect them from this man beforehand. If that man had a disability where he sat there and played with knives throughout dinner, they would have made some kind of arrangements for him. Instead, they put him right next to a microphone. And he even said, I couldn't believe they put me right next to a microphone. as though they wanted it to happen. Thank you, Cookies and Cream. That is a very, very good point. That is a very good point. Certain people are just not safe wherever they go. And increasingly in the Western world, if you are a person of color, and in particular, if you're a Black woman, there seems to be a special consideration for how you are to be treated. Mm. And in this case, of course, a college professor, the targeting of Black people in universities, college professors. And I mean, it seems as though they mean to get rid of all of them, to build a case one after the other. Do everything they can to try to delegitimize their work. Okay, let's go on to this. Prince Harry stopped giving Diana legacy funding to SENTEBALE. The Duke of Sussex switches donations to Elephants Without Borders after row with charity he co-founded. So in 2025, the Duke of Sussex stepped down from the organization as co-founder. Now, I know what you all are thinking when I say that Prince Harry is donating that money to elephants. I'm sure through word association, the first thing that came to mind was Robert Jobson.
Who do they think they are?
But not that elephant. Not that elephant. I'm talking about real elephants, not this circus performer. There are real elephants whose lives are in danger from poachers. Still, I'm not talking about Robert Jobson. Trophy hunters. Well, he ain't got nothing anybody want. But yes, there are real people that are in trouble. And in no way is this associated with Robert Jobson.
Who do they think they are?
Well. Next question. See ya.
Yes, so rest assured, it has nothing to do with Robert Jobson or his CPAP. Oh man. So I also saw this. We can still save Prince Harry. That was an article in The Spectator. There seems to be a trend, and I mean, I know that this is just what do you call it? Clickbait. But there seems to be a trend of saving Harry from his own happiness. And of course, the person who wrote that article went on and on and on about how unhappy Harry is. And Harry was seen in London ringing doorbells of strangers. And oh, God, they can lay it on thick, can't they? They can really lay it on thick. As though he's so miserable, as though he's so out of sorts, that he really wants to go back there. You know, there's a lot of reasons why Harry may never want to go back there to live full time again. But if someone was to ask me, what do I think is a reason that he would want to leave in the first place? The only thing I can say is William. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Whether there was a Meghan or not, how long was a natural born leader like Prince Harry going to play second fiddle to that vindictive brother of his? How long was that going to happen? That he would stay in a child's place, just like Edward and Sophie, waiting for his brother to throw him some crumbs. Remember how long Charles made Edward wait before he got the title of Duke of Edinburgh? Remember how long he had to wait? What was the wait for? They dragged it out, and they just drug it out longer and longer and longer until it just seemed like it wasn't going to happen. And then there's a caveat. After Edward goes to his glory, that title goes right back to the crown. His son will not inherit that title. Which I think is, unfair. You can just make up a title. His son doesn't get to be the Duke of Edinburgh. And that's got to be a real punch in the gut. Maybe they knew about it in advance, maybe not. I don't know. None of my business anyway, but that is the life they wanted for Harry. Lex says the UK is the second most miserable country in the world, yet they want a happy, thriving Harry back. I guess misery loves company. Pathetic and evil. Yeah, I have to say that sometimes I have looked at articles because I just really want to know what wording are you going to use to convince people that those opinions are relevant or sensible. I believe the term is mental gymnastics. It takes a lot of mental gymnastics to make that work. Yep, it just doesn't come in a vacuum. It takes some work to make it work. Okay, so Prince Harry stopped giving Diana's legacy funding to SENTEBALE. As you know, the Diana Fund, there is money that is made available, and Harry has made the decision that what he has coming out of that fund, he wants his portion of the money to go to Elephants Without Borders, which, as I said, is in no way a reference to Robert Jobson. What? I'm sorry, I cannot hear you. Say it again.
Who do they think they are?
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Yes, who do they think they are? Oh, man. Now, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, and His Royal Highness Prince Harry share never before seen photos with elephants from 2017's Botswana trip?
Who do they think they are?
I'm not talking about you, sir. I'm talking about the real elephants. Now give it a rest. See, I shouldn't have brought him up in the first place. Now, every time I mention elephant, he gets triggered. And I got work to do, so I cannot keep defending myself.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Plus, ain't nobody got time for that. I ain't got time for it. But anyway, what an opportunity for Meghan. As you can see here, they have collared one of the elephants. And obviously the elephant is sedated. Yeah, that is a very sweet photo. Also, along with the Elephants Without Borders, Harry is very much committed to African parks. And we could thank African parks for one of the hottest, sexiest photos that Harry has ever taken. That photo is absolutely hot. It is warm to the touch. So thank you, African parks, for the opportunity of seeing Harry look, so rugged and handsome. Yeah, that's a great photo. One of my favorite photos of Harry ever. The Delta is a key area for our planet's health. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and the main source of water for nearly 1 million people. It is also home to endangered wildlife, from lions and giraffes to African wild dogs, and the world's largest remaining population of endangered savanna elephants. Jeff concludes that the drilling would turn the Delta into an industrial sacrifice zone and become a poster child for our collective willingness to sack even the most sublime cathedrals of the natural world. We cannot let that happen. So you may remember this was in regards to this desire to do oil exploration in the, I believe you call it the Akavanka wetlands. But it is a very vital and important area in Africa, and it just should never be affected. It should be left to, to the wildlife, managed by people who can defend the wildlife from poachers. I said poachers, Robert Jobson. I didn't say pork chops. I said poachers.
Who do they think they are?
Oh, man. Go to bed and wake up reasonable. I said poachers, not pork chops. Anyway, you guys, I never should have invited Robert Jobson tonight because now he won't stop talking. Oh, man. I'm having fun with that. All right. So it says here, Prince Harry redirects Diana's memorial fund from SENTEBALE to Elephants Charity. The Duke of Sussex co-founded SENTEBALE back in 2006 with Prince Aso of Lesotho to aid children affected by HIV in Lesotho and Botswana, naming it Forget Me Not in honor of Diana's work. And it says here, he and Seso stepped down as patrons in March of 2025 following irreconcilable governance disputes with board chair and love child of the singer Jerry Butler and who knows who else. Supposed to be Dr. Sophie Chandaka, prompting resignations and a charity commission review. Recent accounts show Harry's portion of Diana's legacy proceeds are now going to Elephants Without Borders in Botswana, Okavango Delta, a group tied to the conservation efforts like wildlife collaring projects named after his children. Online reactions divide between those praising the move and others decrying it as sidelining vulnerable children for elephants. Well, first of all, cheers to naming a couple of the elephants for Archie and Lily. Cheers for that. But as for the sidelining, I just, I hate that this is a thing, but we cannot throw good money after bad. And it would really cause problems. It would embolden the, Sophie Chandaka. I believe it would embolden and even encourage the mismanagement of SENTEBALE. And that just shouldn't happen. So hopefully, Sophie will take her credentials. She will add this to her CV, how I wrecked a charity that had one of the world's greatest fundraisers. Yeah, how did I single-handedly wreck a charity into, something, I would say something in their own image. But we all know what happened. I believe, how much was it? $400,000 more or less went to consultants. Yeah. Anyway, isn't that a stunning picture? I found that in my archives. I thought it was absolutely beautiful. It's a Madonna image, mother and child. Okay. I was so inspired by Prince Harry with his connection to African parks and, of course, now the Elephants Without Borders. I guess I like elephants. And one day when I was at the hardware store, I found these. You guys remember that? I wanted to get it, but I wasn't sure I should get it because, I already have a sprinkler, a can that I walk around with for some of my plants. But have you ever seen anything so cute? Have you ever seen anything so cute? So I went ahead and got it. Yep, I went ahead and got it. I love that. And of course, the water comes out of the trunk. Okay, I'm going to move on. Now, I have this that I want to share with you. Whew, here we go. Here we go with that BS. Again, everybody knows what's best for Prince Harry. Uh-oh. There we go.
How does it end, this? What is your prediction? Harold, how do you say? I'm fascinated to know, how does it end, this? What is your prediction? I think he's going to come back here, tail between legs, and she'll be left there.
That will, I can guarantee that will never happen for one very particular reason: the kids. Those kids are going to stay in the United States. Harry loves those kids to bits. He's a great father. I'm convinced that he's always been terrific for children. So while she has breath in her body, those kids remain in the States, and therefore Harry.
Well, looks like somebody is talking sense. Now that was Valentine Lowe, who is seated on the left of the screen. And I don't know who she is. But apparently she seems to be of the opinion that, that Harry would walk away from everything and go back over there so that he could have his brother tell him, what to do for the rest of his life. So, yeah, that ain't gonna work out. That would never work out. I don't think that Harry wants to come back there. Yeah, I don't think he wants to come back there. So anyway, sorry about my phone doing this thing there. I try to cut it off, but one of the apps actually comes through the computer, and I have yet to figure out how to turn that off. Okay. Let's see. Joan Garcia says, I saw hate today, and that which Carol, who called Doria a felon, was so nasty to a female caller. The lady said they're racist, and Carol said, prove it. Did I see that before, or is that something new? Because that sounds very familiar, and it seems like I've seen that exchange before, but I'm not sure. But yeah, well, if it is new, I would love to see that myself. But thank you for the super chat. Now, Meghan will come crawling back to UK. America is officially done with Duchess. Now, that opinion is from guess who? Carol Malone. And now we have the proof. She says that they have the proof that America is done with Meghan. Haven't America been done with Meghan for, 6 years now? 5, 6 years? 7 years? Haven't America been done with Meghan already? They're so done with Meghan that there's always an air of excitement whenever Meghan comes around. There's always people cheering and encouraging Meghan. Why? Because they're done with her. Just ask Carol Malone. Carol Malone is an opinion piece writer, and she has it in for the Sussexes. And because there is the possibility that she follows and contributes with those nasty conversations on social media, including Twitter. I mean, I have no proof of it, but I am going to just speculate. I'm going to say that there is a possibility that she got her information from those people on Twitter, or X, formerly known as Twitter. Because where else would she have a harebrained idea where she refers to Meghan's mother as an ex-convict? She is literally the Grinch. She looks like she's straight out of Whoville. Yeah, she may have found a good foundation to cover it up, but if you look close enough, you can see that her DNA is filled with the Grinch. She is the living fossil. She is the missing link to Whoville. The Grinch. The Grinch that stole Christmas. The same family. They're all one and the same. And when they're not stealing Christmas, they're making up stuff. Look at there. Don't you see the family resemblance? There's Carol Malone. There's the Grinch, right out of Whoville. And even there, you see, I spread misinformation on GB News. It all makes sense now. It all makes sense. I have never been so sure about something in my life. That wench is the Grinch. It's all one and the same.
In an episode of Britain's Newsroom on Thursday, December the 4th, 2025, I stated that Thomas Markle, the Duchess of Sussex's father, brought Meghan up while her mother, Doria Ragland, was in prison. I believe this to be the case based on what I now understand to be misinformation I had seen online. I was questioned about the validity of this claim during the broadcast, and I repeated this belief, which I now understand to be false. This was a genuine error. I accept what I have now been told on behalf of Miss Ragland, that she raised her daughter and that she has never been in prison or jail. I apologise sincerely to Miss Ragland and her family for any pain my comments may have caused, and I'm happy to set the record straight.
And can I just say on behalf of GB News, because I was on the programme that day, we all wish to apologise to Miss Ragland for the error, and we are happy to correct the record.
Well. Now, I know that the question has been asked before in the past, but I have to ask again, or at least someone should.
Who do they think they are?
Yeah, there you go. That's Carol Malone. Something that she saw online. If she was in these United States, and I'm just going to go ahead and say prior to the occupant of the White House, but if she was in these United States, she would not have a job right now. The only thing that she would have is social media. She would have been terminated. But the times they are a-changing, and I won't deny that the times are a-changing. I believe that Carol Malone is protected by like-minded people that feel the same way that she does. They see Doria, who is totally innocent. They see her as less than. I'll just say as less than. They're okay with telling the world that she's just not one of us, and she'll never be one of us. That Doria is not an English rose. Meghan is not an English rose. Only Kate is the English rose. And a few of the other women in the family. But yeah, that's why it was so easy for her to say the things that she said. You would think that some validation would have been made for something so serious. Nothing. She got to keep her job. I mean, aside from, having a cheap foundation, all she has to do is just try to use something with more coverage. Yeah, instead of a translucent powder, I would say that she probably needs to go to something with some type of pigments in it. But yeah, should be all right. Okay. Now, oh, I didn't skip right past it. Now you see right there. Do you know what that is? That is August the 31st, Carol Malone. August the 31st, 1997. August the 31st, 1997. Well, if that date means something to you, then it's for an obvious reason. There was a mysterious, unresolved accident in a tunnel in Paris. And while Diana was fighting for her life, fighting for every breath, be clever like Camilla and clam up, Di. It's a pity Gucci doesn't make designer face zips. Then, when Princess Diana was on the verge of opening her ill-informed mouth and causing an altercation, what is that, a international incident, an increasingly frequent occurrence these days, she could just zip her trap shut. You cannot teach an old Grinch a new trick, can you? You just can't. She has been the same rotten individual all these years. Rotten to the core. Okay, well, that's Carol Malone. But take a look here. This is a topic that we were discussing about Jason Arday rather. Let me see here. And then you've got talk radio running a massive poll with a highly loaded, literally illegal question. You can't strip citizenship from someone who has no other citizenship. And you can see what the question is there. Should the UK strip Harry and Meghan of their citizenship? With questions like that, from what people believe to be a right and legitimate news source, what do they call it? The fourth estate? Meaning, of course, that the news media is an institution that is very important to any democratic government, is that the news media are able to go through extraordinary measures to get a story, right? But they are also good at stoking outrage. They're very good at that, inventing outrage. So if you take a look on the right side, it says Royal Style Watch, Buckingham Palace. No response to the media policy seems puzzling. While there is 246,525 articles written about Meghan between May 19th and May 2019, I should say, and April 2020, according to digital PR agency Bonk, there were far less articles written about mediocre Kate Middleton and Prince Andrew during the same period, with 96,460 on Kate Middleton and 72,000 on Prince Andrew. Yet the palace and his team felt compelled to defend both Kate and even Andrew, while Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, was never defended, ever. Meghan, it seems, had to look the other way because these articles were not as important. Okay? These articles were not as important. Looking at this, it's no surprise that the couple chose to escape this bigoted, blighted country and raise their children. If they could, they'd probably be on the phone to Elon Musk to get a place on the first trip to Mars. Has anyone ever been more systematically vilified? Now, this comes from Edwin Hay something. I cannot figure. Let me see. Is the name here somewhere? Oh yeah, Hayward. Edwin Hayward. Has anyone ever been more vilified? Hubba hubba. I mean, look at all these articles. Look at all these articles, and I believe that was that. What was the period of time? Oh, you know what? I believe this was one day's articles. So the Daily Telegraph had 19 articles about Meghan in one day. And of course, not to be outdone, the Express broke the record with 50. The Daily Mail had 31 articles about Meghan in one day. And then there's also The Sun, which had 28 articles in that same 24-hour period. So less than an hour goes by at The Sun, and there was yet another article and another article. Well, what is that, like 50 minutes apart? 40 minutes apart? Was that the rate of a new article mentioning the same thing over and over and over again? "24-hour period, 50 articles. There ain't that much to talk about." Okay. Well, let me see. What do we have here? This scientist who studied abusive tweets about Meghan said they contain some of the worst racist and misogynistic terms, to the point his colleagues in the study got upset. And that was on LBC radio. Now, this is one of those things that I mentioned a few times. All the traditions modern Prince William is bucking, from ditching the kilt to settling in Windsor, as a royal expert claims, it's now time for the future king, once dubbed Workshy Willie, Workshy Wheels, to do more. Really, he's not going to like that. Who dares insinuate that he's not pulling his weight? I pity the fool. I believe that William is one of the most protected people who have ever been in line for the throne, void of any criticism whatsoever. So what is there to expect? He will not wear the kilt. It's not a major thing. Don't get me wrong, it's not. But it shows a pattern. This is what they ought to be worried about. This man is the biggest danger to that monarchy. They distract by pointing the finger at Harry and Meghan. But this is a long-standing pattern. William would refuse to attend events that were mandatory from his grandmother. He would just refuse. And of course, the famous BAFTAs. What did he do? He went on vacation. How about the time when he went skiing rather than going to the Commonwealth Day? And at the time, they kept saying, it's the most important day on the Queen's calendar. It's her favorite day on the Queen's calendar. Well, we all know that Balmoral is the one place where the Queen can feel at home, which is the same crap they say about Windsor Castle. That was the same crap that they said about the royal yacht Britannia. Any place the Queen would go, that was the one place where she felt like she could be herself. So that's a load of crap. But while they figure out how to get a handle on William, because they haven't sorted that out yet, it looks like just William being William, and he just does not want to be bothered with the kilt. But it goes much deeper. That means he's not going to conform to the traditions that have been set forth by, Queen Elizabeth, her father and mother, and so on and so on. They are not, well, should I say William, or William and Kate, they really are not interested in what the house looks like. Long as the kids have a roof over their head, that's all that matters. This man is going to be a disaster for the House of Windsor, an absolute disaster. And I cannot wait. As a matter of fact, let me show you this. This will explain what happened that day. Let me find it. Oh, I love this one. I love this one. I haven't shared this for a while. This girl say, I'm eating my lunch. I ain't got time for those people. I mean, she barely looked up at them. She couldn't be bothered. It's just those two lazy people. If they too lazy to do work, I'm too lazy to say hi. Or should I say I'm too busy to say hi? I didn't care. And that's just for starters. Believe me, it's only going to get worse. Let's see here. Wait, I got another one. Nope, not that one. Let me see here. I'm looking for that one where where is it? You know what's missing, you guys, though? You know what's missing is where is Republic? They haven't been doing their work, I think.
Yeah, I've been messing around today. Belfast this morning.
Well, what do you know? No need for all those barriers. Why bother? There's nobody there. Do you realize there were more security people? And of course, that was in Scotland. That's why I wanted to share that with you. That video is in Scotland. And William decides that he's not going to wear a kilt. He's the next in line for the throne, and he's wearing those long trousers. The man greets him in formal dress, and William shows his discontent by wearing long pants. He just refused to wear them. He will not wear a kilt. Let's see. H Knight, thank you so much for 51 months membership. 51 months. Oh, Lydia Washington, prayer request for Dolores Thomas, who fell and broke her leg. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. And thank you for, how is that possible? 60 months membership. Wow. 60 months, not days, but months. Let's see. Oh, let me get back over here. That's her. She said she was hired You're talking about Carol Malone. Yes, thank you so much for the super chat. Yeah, she always says that well, you know what? She's not the only one who says that. I believe, oh gosh, who was that? I think it was Amanda Playtell. No, nope. I mean, I'm sure she does, but I cannot remember. It's almost like I could see her face, but I cannot think of her name right now. Okay, let me see. Did I miss anyone else? Okay, I think I'm caught up. So, when it comes to wearing costumes, William doesn't mind going in his, shall we call it, colonizer couture, huh? He doesn't mind wearing that colonizer haute couture. He'll wear that. He won't wear the kilt, but he'll wear this costume. Wow. Somebody's got their priorities all wrong. Colonizer couture. Okay. Well, this young man has got the right spirit. Now look at him. Now don't he look blessed? Look at him. He's wearing his kilt. Is it so hard? How difficult can it be? And he's adorable. He's got his bagpipe, he's got his flat cap, and he's got his tartan and his kilt. And he's absolutely adorable. Yeah, he's adorable. Oh, wait. Oh, okay, so this is out of place. I've done it again. This is out of place. But let me just show you this one first. Don't run with bagpipes. You could put an eye out. Or worse yet, get killed. Isn't that fun? Don't run with bagpipes. You could put an eye out. Or worse yet, I'm doing the worst Scottish accent. Or worse yet, get killed. Anyway, let me do this one. And we will talk about it on the other side. Okay. Here we go. All right, here it is. No, it's coming. Give me just a second here. Ready? Uh-oh. Is that on? Yeah. Here we go. Okay, we're not going to go. Oh, my goodness. What did I do with it? Oh, I did it again. Let me see here. Oh, you know what? I got it. It was just because it was a couple days ago that I found it. So it's way down the list. Here we go.
Like that's all I took from the video was like, this is Harry. Harry is so charming. Like that's all I took from the video was like, this is Harry in all of his royalness.
Yes.
Everyone had their moment with him. Everybody in that space had a moment. They felt seen. They felt engaged. He is, to me, so hot.
Yes.
So hot. That
Absolutely.
level of charm and this like
consideration
charisma.
also. But also where his royalness is just like, it's just in him. It's in his blood. It is coursing through his veins at all times.
It's very sexy.
You can take the man out of Buckingham Palace, but you
Yeah.
can't take the palace out of the man. This is his superpower, right?
It is.
And he got that from his mom.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right. Like that's where the Diana really shows.
You're so right.
I like that. Isn't that sweet? Isn't that sweet? That's his superpower. Now, I'm going to show you what they were referring to. It was this moment right here.
Loves bagpipes.
This is great. So we're mine.
Yeah.
Pipes and drums. It's pipes and drums. Just to be clear.
Thank you. It's so good to see you. Well, apparently, I believe that Harry had spent more time with them, and we've only seen a small portion of it. But they were saying that that is his superpower. That's his gift. Is that people they never Harry's not around people that are not seen, that are not recognized. And one of the things that Harry does that is so amazing is that when he goes to the well child, he spends a certain amount of time with each and every family that's present. All of the ones that are, receiving the award for certain, he is spending time with them, and he takes his time. And the same goes for Scotty's little soldiers. He makes sure that even the quietest person in the room is going to get some kind of face time. So it's nothing rushed or so important that he's not going to put that time and that effort in. Now, there are members of the family that when they visit certain groups or certain people, they don't spend that kind of time. You know what I mean? They seem like they got a plane to catch. Everything seems rushed. But that is not something that people experience with Prince Harry. For a minute, 5 minutes, whatever the case may be, when Harry's around, you are going to feel like the most important person in the room. And that's a gift, to make people feel that level of engagement. Now, like I said, there's some people who do not have that gift. I'm going to show you an alternative to that.
I'm sorry we can only come and give words and comfort, but we are thinking about you the whole time, and we really care about what's going on. So
sometimes that's more than financial.
Well, if we can give you the odd smile here and there, that's important. So I'm sorry we can only come and give words and comfort, but we are thinking about you the whole time, and we really care about what's going on. So
sometimes that's more than financial.
Well, if we can give you the odd smile here and there, that's important. So
Well, looks like somebody was we can only give you a little smile here and unfortunately, that's all we can do is we just give you a little smile here and there. He almost sounds like he's doing an auction, right? Hey, we don't have time to talk with them. And we brought some of those stale brownies from the kitchen of the Kensington Palace. And we can only give you a little smile every now and again, every now and again, every now and again. Who's got 5 for every now and again, and now and again? Okay, up, over there. We got an every now and again. How about sometime? Got sometime over there in the corner of the room? Sometime. It's like he's doing an auction. Did you see how fast he was talking? Well, we can only just give him a smile and a wave. That's about all we can do. Is it really? You only got time for a smile and a wave. What are you in a hurry for? What are you trying to get to? I mean, that was such a pathetic display. Well, unfortunately, we can only just give you a little smile and a wave. And then, of course, that person standing next to him, she doesn't have anything to contribute. Neither one of them want to be there. That's why I say I cannot wait. I cannot wait until those two are crowned, because it is going to be much to do about nothing. And I am more than certain that everything I've ever said about them, I will be vindicated. For those who don't believe, I promise you, they will see things my way by the time they reach Westminster Abbey. They will see the real Will and Kate. The same Will and Kate that was late for King Charles' coronation, that Will and Kate. Well, we can only give you a little smile and a wave, a smile and a wave, a little smile and a wave. We got 5. Let's get 10 for a smile and a wave. Got 10 for a smile and a wave. All right, let's see if we can get 15 for a smile and a wave. Smile and a wave. Over there on the left, smile and a wave. Come on, everybody. These are real quality minutes that we're spending. Smile and a wave, smile and a wave. It's like an auction. What the hell? Who does that? Remember that time they went to that soup kitchen? Well, actually, it wasn't a soup kitchen. It was one of those food banks. They showed up with absolutely nothing. They stayed for, I believe they said 50 minutes. The lady was trying to show Kate something, and Kate said, well, I'm not really here to learn. I'm just here to watch. Kate was not interested in how stuff worked. She said that, I mean, those are not the exact words, but she said that with her own mouth. Which is odd, because as we all know, Kate Middleton is what they call
reasons Catherine is so popular amongst certain demographics, and I'm going to say older people and men, is because she says absolutely nothing. She's a good little girl who keeps quiet and doesn't complain, doesn't do anything, doesn't rock the boat, and is a very traditional old-fashioned mute woman.
An old-fashioned mute woman. Now, either she's the future of the monarchy or she's an old-fashioned mute woman. I'm going to say she's an old-fashioned mute woman. Oh, man. You guys, let me see here. Where are we here? Dolores, I'm kind of concerned be careful. Be careful that you don't have any blood clots. That's what I'm concerned about. So if your leg gets really hot and tight and everything like that, I mean, of course, I don't know, what exact, but we got to be so careful. So yes, we will definitely be praying. Oh, I hate to hear that. I'm so sorry. I had a fracture before years ago, and every time I see something that's in the way or something shouldn't be there, or you know how sometimes those runners roll up, the when you walk into a store and maybe they got the rubber mat runner on the floor, and you know how the corner comes up. I take my time and take my foot and put it flat on the floor again because I don't want anybody to hurt themselves. So yeah, do take care. And if something doesn't seem right, get some help immediately. That is very serious. Yeah, very serious. But thank you for sharing that with us, and we will be praying for you. I'll be praying for you, praying for you. Okay, let me see. What else do I have here? I think I'm almost done, actually. Where did I leave off? I was here and I did that. Oh. Yes, we're gonna finish with this, I believe. Yeah, we're gonna finish with this. Yeah, so anyway, a self-branded MAGA loyalist who voted for you know who 3 times in support of his immigration policy is left raging after ICE agents take his Russian wife away in handcuffs. And by the way, I'm not talking about Donald Trump. They took his I ain't talking about the president. They took his Russian wife away in handcuffs. I know. That's exactly what happened. That is exactly what happened. Somebody found out. Whoa, did they find out? Oh, they found out the hard way. Yep. They found out the hard way. And I know he's going to miss his wife because, every time that he sees an episode of Bullwinkle, he's probably going to break into tears. Yep. Every time he sees an episode of Bullwinkle, he is going to come to tears. Because remember Natasha on Bullwinkle? Oh, now we get moose and squirrel. So every time he sees Bullwinkle, he's going to think about his Russian wife and how much she sounded like Natasha from Bullwinkle. Oh, now we get moose and squirrel. Yes, that is going to be very, very painful for him. So I wish him the best. It's not going to be easy. But who knows how long the Trump and his wife are going to be together. He might be able to she may not be busy for long, so anyway. Gosh, I hate when stuff like that happens. And then take a look here. Remember her? I will vote for Donald Trump's. I will vote for Donald Trump's. Arriba! I will vote. Arriba, arriba! For Donald Trump's. I will vote for Donald Trump's. Well, that's that lady. Remember the one that was up on the stage? Now, before the election, she was all giddy about Donald Trump, right? But then they started going after everybody. Now, see, she said, let me see, I'm Hispanic and I vote for Mr. Trump's, right? I vote for Mr. Trump's. Now, that was before. But then after, when she found out, you know how they say you don't think fat meat greasy, right? Well, by the time she found out that fat meat is greasy, it was too late. She done already got her head busted. Figuratively speaking, of course. That's an old expression. Beyond betrayed, they used us. That's what she said. Beyond betrayed. Now, see, there's an old saying. How do I put it? Okay. This is how it goes. You don't think fat meat greasy, do you? If you keep effing with me, you're going to get your head busted. That's an old saying. You don't think fat meat greasy. Well, she done found out that fat meat is greasy because they started arresting people. See, they lied. The same administration who said we're only going to go after the criminals, right? That same administration is the same one that had the Ayatollah and all of those people ready to sign a peace deal, only for that administration to take out everybody in the family and a school, which was hit repeatedly. You cannot trust someone like that. I'm being very serious. You cannot trust someone like that. I am still shocked about the Ayatollah. You lure someone in with a peace deal, and then you kill everybody. Who does that? Now look at this other one. We rode hard for Trump, but the system he built sent my wife packing. Deported, gone. Do I regret my vote? Hell yeah. It stings. Would I vote for him again? Bet your boots I would. My kids are crying, my heart breaking, but I'm still all in. Are you serious? Your wife is at a detention center and you would still vote for him? If you ask me, they took the wrong person. It's him we don't need. I'd rather keep the wife and get rid of him. I would rather keep the wife. I just have to learn to speak Russian, that's all. I'd rather keep the wife and I'd rather he goes. Because we don't need people like that. I want him to go. And I want that crazy lady over there, the before and after. I will vote for Donald Trump's. I will. They was getting down, wasn't they? For Donald Trump's. I will vote for Donald Trump's. She all dancing and they got the band in the background and everything. I will vote for Donald Trump's. And the next thing you know, the police came. My whole family voted for Trump. My wife, wife of Cuban man detained by ICE speaks out. Her whole family voted. Well, I guess stupid runs in the family. Not only can they not sing, not only can they not dance, but they vote for the wrong people. I will vote for Donald Trump's. Hey, I will vote for Yee! I will vote for Donald Trump's. They was getting down, wasn't they? I will vote for Donald Trump's. Well, go ahead and vote for him. Just make sure you get to packing. Pack your bags and vote. She actually went on television. She said, I don't want to make it political, but they betrayed us. They told us they were only going after the criminals. Now, listen, you guys, the other day, it was yesterday, was it? There were some people doing some work on the, you know how with all of the wind and the everything that we've had lately, a lot of the soil has washed away and everything. So they went around with, I guess it was a mulch or something like that, and they filled in a lot of places where some of the soil got washed away. And as I was getting out of my car, I kept patting my pockets. I'm like, do I have my wallet? Yeah. Do I have my phone? Yeah. But I kept feeling like something wasn't right. So I walk around to the other side of the car and I'm looking through the window and everything and still patting my pockets. And just as I'm walking away, I heard someone say, amigo, amigo. And I turned around and I have like a little thing on my keychain. It's the RFI, whatever. It blocks the frequency that comes from your credit card and your key fob. I have one of those, and it just came, it was clipped to my keychain and it came off. And he was so nice to pick it up and bring it over and hand it to me before I got too far away. And so I was very touched by that. And so after I came in and put my groceries down, I didn't even put my groceries up. I went back out with cold bottled water. And, well, let me just put it to you like this. I had a little tiny shopping bag with some things that I gave away for Christmas last year. I bought them in bulk because when I catch them on sale, I usually just, So I'm going to tell you what I gave them was worth more than the $40 that I had in my wallet. And not just because they were, or at least one of them was being so nice like that. But as soon as I heard the accent, it just reminded me how hard they work, how they show up and do things that a lot of American people will not do. And how poorly some American people treat them. Now, I don't know what their status is. They all had very thick accents, and it did not matter. All that I know is that they were very nice and they were working very hard. So I wanted to do something because I've seen so many times on social media and on the regular media, the mainstream media, with how cold and cruel people are. Like the lady who got a roof on her house and she didn't want to pay for it, so she called ICE. She called ICE because she didn't want to pay for her roof. And when she made the phone call, she took the ladder away to try to trap them on the roof. Now, fortunately, she was the one that went to jail. They didn't get locked up. She did. Because there's a law about calling the police so that you don't have to pay for services. Thank God. So, and that's just a reminder to anyone who encounters immigrants or migrants to be kind, because you just don't know the circumstances of how someone got here or there or wherever they are. So I try to do what I can. I try to do what I can with anybody for any circumstances, but it was just something came over me. I thought about, God, the way they get mistreated. Just as soon as people hear that accent, then all of a sudden they feel empowered. And it's so embarrassing to me when I see somebody Black threatening to call ICE because something's not going their way. Are you serious? Are you serious? And some people are so proud to wield that power, or what they perceive as power, over someone who they assume cannot defend themselves. I voted for Trump. Now his wife sits in an ICE detention center. Here's another one. He voted for Trump, and now ICE has his wife in a detention center. Anyway, you guys, I am done. Good night, Elaine Parker. I am done. I am done. This was the last I had. But yeah, that really, oh, I cannot stand the thought of it. I cannot stand the thought of it. It doesn't cost anything to be kind. But you know what costs? When you vote for the wrong candidate, that's costly. Or if you try to hijack a charity for your own vanity, that can cost you a lot. Ooh, my goodness. Have I been talking for 2 hours? You guys, I'm fixing to go. Love you guys. I will see you all next time.